What's happening, people? What's going on? What's going on? And what is going on? It is a Monday. It is a Monday all day today. A Monday all day. But I just want to say hi to everybody. I hope everybody I had a busy week. I overbooked myself. I overbooked myself. I didn't think that I was going to be able to pull that off, but I did. And I'm happy that I did it. I took a beating on Friday. I was going to come on here with you guys on Friday, but I was tore down. I was tore down. I had the opportunity, number one, to go down to Hopkins and speak to some people down there in Hopkins, Minnesota. They opened up a space for me, and so I had the opportunity to go down there and talk to some people down there and give them the 411 of basically what's going on and what's happening with everything. And ended up going and helping with a food drive. So we was out doing that with a food drive. Went down to stop by the Harbor Lights there in Minneapolis, to the homeless shelter that's down there. Got a few people, some things that some people need down there. So I will be putting that out. Again, we're still, waiting for some help for the families that I had posted up. So, ma'am, sir, anyone out there under the sound of my voice, if you have it in your heart to want to help family in need, I am asking for help, for you to help them. That would be awesome. So on my page, there is a list of families that has kids ranging from 3. Is it 3? Yeah, ranging from 3 to about 14. If you are out to Walmart, Target, wherever you shop, you decide to pick up a gift, let me know. I'll be more than happy to come pick it up, meet you somewhere, something like that, and grab it. Or you can always send it to the church too. So it's totally up to you if you feel like picking something up for someone for the coming up holiday. I definitely appreciate that. But anyway, people, again, how we doing? I hope everybody is awesome. So, like I predicted, I called it. Even when JJ was a rookie quarterback, I told y'all, and I made it clear. Like I said, I've been here for 30-something years now. Been in Minnesota for 30-something years. And I've seen the same thing from the Viking fans and the way that they treat their quarterbacks. And this kid was going to be no different. If he didn't come out looking like Brett Favre, if he didn't come out looking like Aaron Rodgers, if he didn't come out looking like Jordy Love, the faithful of the Minnesota crowd, y'all know you was going to tear him up. So I said today, now I want, hold on, Viking fans, I want you to have an open mind here for a second. I'm going to need you. I know that's going to be hard, Viking fans. I realize that. But hear me out. Hear me out for a second. Let's just say, now, remember the Herschel Walker trade, correct? Think about that. Think about that when Dallas gave Herschel Walker to the Vikings. All right. And Dallas laughed all the way to the bank because that trade set Dallas up forever. What the Vikings did for Dallas probably will never happen ever again in the world because there is no other place. There's no other sports franchise. There's no other team that would be that stupid to take Herschel. There's just no one else. And they knew. They was like, you know who would do this? You know who have zero concept of actually how to run? The Vikings. Let's call them up and see if they will take Herschel Walker. And sure enough, the Vikings did it. And then what happened after that? Dallas became champion after champion after, right? Off of that trade. So watch this. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm just thinking outside the box. So let's say the Vikings say to Green Bay, hey, Green Bay, we'll give you Jefferson for umpteen many first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth round picks. Undrafted. Well, just think about it for a second. And let's say the Vikings go, okay, we give you Jefferson. You give us all these picks and whatever else. And then the Vikings sit back and say, we're going to go ahead and lose for the next 2 years. Watch where I'm going with this. So we're going to lose for the next 2 years, which they're going to anyway. But what I'm saying, I'm kind of trying to put this thing together. And all of a sudden, the third year rolls around, and let's just say while they are getting beat, getting their heads knocked in, and they suck, which they do now, but they suck a little more, they're putting together the offensive line. They're putting together a running back. They're putting together two good linebackers. And then they draft, watch this, hold on now. And they draft Cam Ward. They go get Cam Ward. That's what they should do. Cam Ward is a really good quarterback. He's just in a sorry situation. But I think Cam Ward, if they go out and try to get Cam Ward, I think that would be awesome. Or what you can do, there's this kid. I don't know if y'all watched him play this weekend, but if you didn't watch that kid, I think his name is Stone. He's over at Northwestern. If y'all did not watch this kid play this week, well, you should have. You're Gopher fans, and they beat the Gophers. But if you didn't watch this kid play this weekend, you missed a really good quarterback. I'm talking this kid. Every ball even when they missed, if he missed, they didn't catch it. It was an awesome ball. See, I don't think a lot of you all watched what's his name when he was at Michigan. I really don't think the Vikings really watched this kid when he was at Michigan. he had a lot of, a lot of talent around him. It wasn't, he didn't move the sticks. He didn't move that team. He wasn't a powerhouse. He had a lot of power behind him. I said that when they drafted him. I go, I don't think the Vikings really watched this kid. I really don't. Because he's not what y'all think he is. He wasn't all that good at Michigan. Michigan just had pieces around him, and only thing he had to do is not turn the ball over. That's it. Hand the ball off, dunk and dink underneath passes. Go look at the film yourself. He rarely had a pass for yards. It was all underneath. So you got what you saw in college. And if that's what you thought you can make into, because they keep saying, what's the name of the head coach of the Vikings? I keep forgetting his name. And he's supposed to be a quarterback guru. He's not. Y'all bought into that crap. You bought into the lies. He's not a quarterback guru. Because every quarterback that left the Vikings turned into something. Even Kurt had an awesome year when he first left. When he went over there to the Falcons. But there's a kid at Northwestern right now that if I was the Vikings, I would do everything in my power to get that kid. And if you ain't watched him play, go look up Northwestern, see when they're going to be on TV again, and watch this kid play. This kid is good. He's good. If we hadn't paid Jordy Nelson so much, this kid is a Brett Favre. Brett Favre, when Brett Favre let the ball go, it was always a pretty ball. You didn't know where it was going, but it was always a pretty ball that he put in the air. That's this kid. So if the Vikings were smart, they would do everything they possibly can do to get in position, even if that means trading Jefferson to the Packers. Yeah, you're what I said. They need to trade Jefferson to the Packers. Have the Packers give them all these draft picks and do a Herschel Walker type deal with the Green Bay Packers. That's what you do. If I was the Vikings, if I was running the Vikings general manager, I forgot who his name is, but he ain't done a good job. Sorry, he hadn't done a good job. If I was the Vikings, that's what I would do. I would trade Jefferson, because Jefferson wants out. Come on. Let's be real. Jefferson wants out because he realized his numbers is going down. He realized he's not going to get any bonuses. He realized he's not going to be the big playmaker guy that he's supposed to be. He realized that his career is being wasted right now. So he wants out. So put him over there with Jordy Love and get all of those draft picks, start putting things together, and then draft the kid out of Northwestern. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. That would work. So that's just my 2 cents on the Vikings. Because, again, Jefferson wants out. Jefferson don't want to be there no more. He realized that his chances are slim and none of winning. He knows that. We all know. Well, come on. We all know that at this point, right? At this point, we realize that the Vikings are who they say they are. They are who they say they are. And at this point, Jefferson needs to go to a team that he can actually help. There's nothing he can do for the Vikings anymore. Nothing. Nothing. So why stick around? If I was him, I would just refuse to go out on the field. If I was him, I would refuse to even come into the practice facility. If I was him, I wouldn't even come to the locker room. If I was him, I would be like, I want out. I want to go to Green Bay. I want to go play with Jordy Love. I want to go play with someone who's at least can throw the ball longer than 40. I mean, longer than 10. I mean, longer than 5 yards. And I think it would only be fair that he goes to the Packers. That he goes to Green Bay. It's not as if the Vikings have never had Packer players on their team. They do that all the time. Anytime a Packer player is open, what do the Vikings do? Vikings go get them. So it's not going to hurt for the Vikings just to go ahead and trade Jefferson over to the Packers, and let's get this over with. We'll be done with this, and then we move forward. Just my 2 cents. Because Jefferson wants out. Jefferson wants out. So let him go. Get the draft picks. Go get that kid from Northwestern. There to be your let JJ what's his face stay in there. Let him stay while this kid gets ready. Don't rush the kid. Go ahead and lose. Go ahead and lose for the next probably 2 seasons till this kid is ready, and then let this kid drive the team. It'll work. I'm telling you, it'll work. It'll work. Take my advice. Who get the send this to the Vikings general manager. See if he'll listen. He should, because he look at the job he's done. If I was a Viking fan, which I do cheer for the Vikings every now and then, when they play the Bears, or when they play the Cowboys, I'll cheer for them. I have no problem. I believe that they could be a contending team if they listen to me. But if they don't listen to me, then they're going to be where they're at right now. But anyway, fam, yeah, that's my 2 cents on the Viking. Oh, and if the Timberwolves, let me make sure we understand something. If the Timberwolves make a mistake and be as foolish as I think they could be, because this is Minnesota sports, right? This is Minnesota sports. You know how foolish Minnesota sports can be. Come on. Don't act like I'm the only one. I've been here for a while. I've dealt with the Big Ten. I've dealt with the only thing good about Minnesota sports is the Lynx. The soccer team don't even. That's even bad. But no matter how desperate the Timberwolves get, do not, in any circumstances, have a conversation with the Grizzlies about Ja Morant. That fool. Don't touch him. Don't bring him to Minnesota. You talking about J.R. Ryder. J.R. Ryder was bad. Y'all remember J.R. Ryder? Come on, don't act like I'm that old. I know I'm old, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all remember J.R. Ryder? This cat is J.R. Ryder times 2. Latrell Sprewell. Y'all don't want to mess with this cat. This cat is no. Don't bring. Do not. Not that I follow the Timberwolves, because every now and then I watch a game. Every now and then, and when I say every now and then, that means that's like I haven't watched the Timber. I literally haven't watched a Timberwolves game in probably, wow. I'm trying to think when my son had these tickets where we were right behind the Timberwolves bench, literally right behind the Timberwolves bench. And I'm trying to remember when that was. That's how long it's been. I don't follow the Timberwolves. I don't follow too many, well, except for the Twins and Gopher baseball. That's about the only sports as far as Minnesota goes that I follow. But I know a little bit about the Timberwolves. Oh, and the Lynx. I do follow the Lynx. But don't bring John Morant here. Don't bring that silly mongrel here. Don't do it. He ain't worth it. This dude, he's not worth it. He's not worth it. Matter of fact, if they just remove him, just take him out of the league altogether. Between him and his dad, oh my God, don't bring him here, Timberwolves. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't bring him here. He's not worth it. Let him go. Let him go somewhere else. But bringing this dude here and bringing his daddy, y'all don't want that smoke. You don't want that type of smoke here at all. But anyway, hey, that's Minnesota sports for you. But hey, let's rip it up. Listen, okay, let me say this here. And I want to say this loud and clear. And I don't give a flying jackhammer what you have to say to me. But calling out people who are stealing money, creating all this fraud in the state of Minnesota is not racist. Let's rip it up. The Somali community has taken millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars from the taxpayers right here in Minnesota. And then when they getting called out on it, they want to run to the first mic they see and cry racism. Use a lying, thieving son of a... You're lying. It ain't racism. You stole that money. Your community, your people, and who you are stole from the taxpayers of Minnesota. Somali community. Yes, you did. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Number 78, Somalian from a Somalian. Number 78 was just convicted. Prove me wrong. And because somebody calls you out on it, yeah, we're going to call you, because it ain't black people doing it. Black people ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. You may look my color, but you ain't me. It's not us. It's the Somalians. See, and everybody always be there wondering, going, well, Rev, why do you got to make a distinction between, between people who look alike? Because if we don't say it's the Somalian community, you're going to be saying them black people. Because some of them look black. Them black people got all this fraud. No, it ain't black people. They call Somalians. That's what they call. No, we going to make sure that y'all know black people ain't got nothing to do with this. Just because they look like us, that don't mean they are. All skin folk ain't kin folks. I'm just saying, I don't even want to hear anything about this. The bottom line, it ain't racism for me to sit here on it. Oh, I'll do it. White folks, y'all don't have to do this. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Because y'all ain't about to sit here. First you come here, oh, me no black. Me not black. But the minute you get in trouble and people start calling you out for who you are in your community, oh, now you want, oh, well, that's racism. No, it's not. No, it's not racism. Y'all stole money. You had money in suitcases. They got a money trail going over to Somalia. Going over to Hill Sabab, Asabab, Wababa Bob, I don't know, whatever Bob, but the money trail is there. It's straight get out of here. Go sit down somewhere. Stop it. I don't care what Ilhan Omar says. I don't care what she and the rest of them over there can say whatever they want. Use a liar. Your people stole that money, and you know it. They driving around in BMWs. They living all the way out in Apple Valley, living all the way out in Champlin, living all the way out in Lakeville, buying land in Llano Lakes. Don't try me with that. You bought pretty much all of Edina. You got St. Louis Park. Now you're trying to put things out in Llano Lakes, big mosque. Where you get that money from? A big mosque way out there in Lakeville. Where you get that money from? Don't sit here and try to act like. Autism. Every one of y'all kids got autism now. But yet the mom and dad is getting kickbacks so you can say your kid got autism. That ain't black people. That ain't black people. That ain't black people. Now you call me racist all you want. Call me whatever you want. Prove me wrong. No. Prove me wrong. Call me whatever you want. Prove me wrong. Because every time they name one of these people, it ain't Myron. It ain't nobody with a black name. Not D-Rod. Ain't Deshaun. No. It ain't Deshaun. It ain't Philip. It ain't none of them names. I barely pronounce the names that it is. It's not foundational black people. Foundational black Americans. It's not the FBAs. It's not the ADOS, African American descendants of slaves. No, it's not. I don't know which set it is. I don't know if it's this. Are y'all Somalilanders or are you Somalis? That's what you need to figure out. If you're not, if Somalilanders, if it's not you, then call out the Somalis. If it's not the Somalis, then hey, call out the Somalilanders. But all I know is the people that they're indicting, people they're putting in jail, come from over there. That much I know. So I don't know how the clans break up. Don't know how that does. But y'all look alike. So what you should do is get in front of a mic and be like, no, it's not us. It's the other Somali. It's them. It's that other Somali group that the United States decided to pull over here and stick you in a place where you basically tore up the black community to give you a place to be. Because, you know, ain't nothing black people could do when white people come in, these white liberals come in and say, you've always done it. You put roads right through St. Paul and tore up the Rondo community, all the black community. So it's not like it was something new when y'all brought these people in and dumped them in the black community. Because that's what you did. But no, it's not racism. That's not racism. It's not racism to tell the truth that people are stealing money. That's not racism. Now, I'm not stupid enough to believe that it's just Somalians who's stealing money. Because they don't write the check. White folks write the checks. Come on, people. Like I told you, if you're going to come over and hang out with me, you better be ready to be real. Because if you're not, then go somewhere else. But y'all know as well as I do, these people didn't get off the plane, boat, or whatever they came here on and walked into the Federal Credit Union and wrote themselves a check and walked out of there with all that money. Y'all know that as well as I do. Y'all know as well as I do the powers to be don't look like me. And it don't look like them. Who wrote these checks for these people, who gave these people all this money. But we don't ever call them out. You don't never talk about the white folks who are giving the money to these people. Never. All you ever see is black and brown people going to jail. But the people who wrote the check, the people who got the kickbacks, the people who made sure they got some money in their pocket, they're never touched. Never. If y'all think that this stuff has been going on for the couple of little months now, you're out your mind. They started making money. White liberals started making money off of these people. White churches started making money off of these people the minute they got here. If y'all don't think these white Catholic churches wasn't making money off of these people, y'all think these churches had these people come here and they didn't get no money off of these people? You are out your mind. You're out your mind. Holy smoke. Hold on 1 second. You're out your mind. This fraud, this stuff didn't start happening just now. This has been going on from 1991, when these 91, 92, when these people first started putting feet on Minnesota soil. They have been getting money and kickbacks from certain people. If y'all think these cats, y'all are out your mind. That's called white-collar crime. That's white-collar fraud. Nobody gets in trouble for that. Nobody cares about that. They overlook that. But you let somebody else do the same thing a white person was doing, those people get in trouble. Those are facts, people. Those are facts. Those are facts. We've been talking about the money that's being made off these people for years. And ain't nobody listened to us. Ain't nobody listened because nobody cared. Because the people who was getting all this money didn't look like us. It's just like I tell you about these white women. It's like I tell you guys about these white women who came into the black community, call themselves caring about black women, whose kid has died from gun violence. Listen to what I'm saying. It's funny how they don't go and take a look at the books of all of these here white women organizations who came into the black community. And then all of a sudden, that we never had, watch this here. So we in the black community, we never had these gun violent prevention groups. Never had them. Never had them. Gun violent prevention groups. Never had them. Right? Until these white women came into the community and start teaching certain people, certain groups, how to get money just by writing gun violence on their little application. Those are facts. So the white woman from the suburbs was like, hey, I know how we can make some extra money to give to the Democrats to pass our bills. Let's go into the black community and we'll teach the black community and we'll get some black moms and we'll act like we care and we'll plant a couple of gardens and we'll put a few flower plots here, flower plots there, and then we'll show them how to go get grants. And then they'll get a grant for $50,000 and they'll kick us $2,000 or $3,000. And if we're going to take that money and then give it to a Democrat to help a Democrat get into office, we don't never talk about that, do we? We don't ever talk about that. That's the same thing as these Somalians are doing. Maybe not at that higher level of millions and millions of dollars, but these white women that's coming into the black community and funneling money through these nonprofits, call themselves gun groups or gun this and guns that, but they give these white women kickbacks. These white women then go give it to the Democratic candidate. It's the same thing. So what's different? Why aren't we going after them? Why are we not talking about those people? Because they're white women. Those are facts, people. Those are facts. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. We don't like talking about that. It's always funny how white people hate talking about the shit that they do. We're beginning to find out that a lot of these bogus people, these ugly, nasty, right-wing people on X are not even from America. The ones that spew hate, that's not even from America. These big accounts that's making all of this money, that's from Nigeria, that's from Japan, that's from China, that's from all over. Because they know there's a group of people in America that is so damn hateful. They will pay. They will pay. They know that. They know America is so hateful that they can make a profile and spew hate from that profile, and they're overseas, and people in America will pay them. That is crazy. That's how ugly and nasty America is when it comes to hate. That's how bad it is. That's how ugly we are as America. It's sad. I was going back and forth with this guy today, and he was talking about, because I put out there that it was the Somalians, and so he didn't want to call me racist. He tried to dabble around it, but you know, he puts out here like, oh, we're going to cure racism tomorrow. That'll never happen. That will never. I'm 60 plus years old, and the first time I was called a nigger was in elementary school when this little white boy got off of the merry-go-round and said, all the niggers get off and push. That was the first time I was ever called a nigger. That's what he said. And for 60 plus years, I have seen how racist America could be. And he hit me up. We was going back and forth today, and the way, and I told him I wasn't laughing at him because he thought I was laughing at him. No, I was laughing at the mindset that he's going to cure racism. That's never going to happen. America was built on racism. I don't care what Nikki Haley says. I don't care what Tim Scott says. I don't care what Vivek Ramaswamy says. Y'all know I'm right. You know it. You know it. You know it. If you didn't know it before, I'm telling you. There's a reason I keep telling this story. There's a reason that four, five black kids couldn't walk on Garnett Road without being warned that when the trucks are coming, get in the ditch. If the truck stops, run in the field. White men drove those trucks. And we had to stay woke because of what a white man would do in Millington and Shelby County, Tennessee, back in the 70s. We had to stay woke. So like I said, when it comes to racism, I'm not the one. I'm not the one to sit here and y'all to sit here and tell me, oh, Rev, you're wrong. There's no racism. America is not a racist country. Use a damn lie. Use a damn lie. And because we call out a group that has stolen money. And for some reason, it's funny that it's the white liberals that are actually sitting there fighting tooth and nail. Oh no, Rev, you can't say that. You can't. Your white liberals are the ones that put us here where we're at right now, while we're in trouble. Donald Trump said, I'm going to take away, please, dude, come on, bring it. See, that's what I don't like about Trump. It's what I don't like about Trump. If you're gonna do it, brother, like I said, like I told him on down there in Hopkins. Trump got two things. He got a choice to do. He can either release the Epstein files, or he can do what he says he's going to do here to Minnesota. For some damn reason, wait a minute. For some damn, what's he say? For some damn red dot Indian darker than most black Americans to lie about. Yes. Hey, look. It's like Nikki Haley. If Nikki Haley believed what she says, Boykins, if Nikki Haley believed what she says, she would use her real name, Nick Rama. But Nikki Haley didn't use her real name because she knows about racism in America. That's why Nikki Haley didn't use her real name. We ain't stupid. That's why. Nikki Haley knew that, and she's getting her up and comings right now, just like that bonehead Vivek. Vivek swore up and down, I'm going to talk about black folks. I'm going to get them on my side. And for a minute, that worked. For a minute, y'all was loving Vivek when he was talking about black folks, when he was putting black folks down, when he was telling us who we are, how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to live. He should have been over there in one of them shit show throwing contests that he's supposed to be in. But here he is in America trying to tell black people how to live and how we're supposed to live. You low down, dirty sand trap, you are. And now that he broke out and said that they were smarter than white people, he broke out and said that they can do better than white people. White people ain't messing with him no more. Same thing with Candace Owens. They actually now calling Candace Owens crazy. They literally calling this woman crazy now. But Vivek is darker than I am. But when he look in the mirror, he's not. He tries to assimilate and swear up and down they love him. But no, y'all calling Candace Owens crazy now. Oh, what happened? It's funny when I read on it, read somebody's page. Oh, what happened to Candace Owens? I used to love her. As long as Candace was dogging and stumping and beating on black people, y'all loved her to death. Yeah, you did. Y'all, white people made Candace Owens rich because Candace Owens was dogging on black people. I know that for a fact. I was in the room with Candace Owens when she was up on stage. I was in the room when people was looking at Candace Owens like she was Mrs. Santa Claus. The best thing that they ever seen in their life. I was in the room. I watched the white people's faces when she talking. I watched it with my own eyes. I saw it live. I watched how the line was so long. White people wanting to meet, they paid extra just to meet this girl. You had to pay extra $25 if you wanted to meet Candace Owens that night right here in Minneapolis. You had to pay, and I'm not kidding. You paid $25 to meet this girl. I got a picture with Candace Owens. Ask me how much I paid. Ask me how much I paid to skip the line. Listen to me. I'm not joking. I'll show you the picture. I'll show you the picture. Ask me how much I paid. Watch this here. To skip the line, to give Candace Owens my card and say to Candace Owens, what you doing is wrong. And Candace, you need to come back to Minneapolis and walk the streets. I say, and the very people that you was up on that stage talking about, the very people you was up on that stage putting down, I need you to come to the black barbershop and sit down and talk to them. I skipped the line. This line, I'm not kidding. This line was so long. It was so long. I wasn't standing in line. Number one, I wasn't standing in line. And number two, I wasn't paying $25 to meet this girl. That line was full of white people. As far as, and I'm not kidding when I say this, as far as the eye could see back, it went back that far. White people made this girl rich. There was no black people in that line. Not one. I didn't even, like I said, I didn't stand in line. I didn't stand in line. My wife will tell you. She looking at me like, what are you doing? I ain't standing here in the line with these silly ass white people paying $25 just to see this girl. You out your mind. I cut right in line. Ain't paid a dime. Not one dime. So when it comes to Candace, and you tell him trying to, oh, Rev, that's not true. You's a liar. I was there. I witnessed it. I saw it. So don't sit there and tell me that it didn't happen. I got the picture to prove it. I got the picture to prove it. The racism is deep in America, and people will pay for racism. Period, point blank. Said Candace says shit about Bridget Mon. Yeah, no, she was talking about Candace was saying some stuff about the Bridget Moynihan, and now a false lawsuit. Gotcha. Yeah. No, I understand. She, like I said, as long as she's not she's not stepping on black people, y'all can say and do whatever you want with her now. She didn't stop that. Now we got to y'all got to leave Brandon Tatum alone. Leave him alone. Who is it? Brandon Tatum. You got to leave people alone like Jason Whitlock. Leave them people alone. Leave people alone like Rod Smith, CJ, that little punk CJ Pearson. Leave them fools alone. But as long as y'all paying them people to say the things that they say about black people, the Hodge twins, that's another one. As long as y'all white folks are paying these people, Rumors has it that French intelligence has Candace Owens on their radar. Ain't nobody. You know what? Ain't nobody worried about. I don't. Ain't nobody worried about Candace. She can run around here talking about this person gonna kill her, that person gonna kill her. Like I said, she's looking for her next coming uppance, and she's got to figure out. She's got to figure out what she's gonna do next. All right, because Nick Fuentes is on all of their butts. Nick Fuentes has already told all of these here black influenced clowns, coons. He calls them tokens. Nick has already told them tokens they can go to hell. That they are not needed. They are not needed anymore. This new generation of Republicans, this new young generation of Republicans are basically saying we don't need what our fathers and mothers needed. Our fathers and mothers wanted to say bad things about black folks, so they went and got other black folks to say bad things about them. They use other black people to say what they want to be said. That's the boomers. That's the older crowd of the Republican Party. Because you had your Lee Elders, your Jesse Lee Peters, right? You had all of them black folks doing their type of stuff. You still got a few of these coons out here doing it now. But that's what the old Republicans do. These new Republicans, these new kids, the young Republicans, the one that was putting those emails out, they say it themselves. The Nick Fuentes groups, Nick Fuentes run around calling people niggas, saying this, saying that, telling all the other young, Alan Keyes, him too, Herman Cain, you know what I'm talking about. The old Republicans use the Byron Donalds, right? Look at I'm trying to think of that brother that's down there in Texas right now. What is his name? He's in Texas, and the Republicans are running over him right now. They're literally gonna run people against him, and he was a Trump ass kisser like no other. I'm trying to think of Wesley Hunt. Wesley Hunt. That's the cooner. That's that low down dirty token. And they look him up. No, listen to me. I want you to look up Wesley Hunt. And listen, and Wesley Hunt said it himself. Wesley Hunt put out a tweet. Look at the tweet. No, don't take my word for it. Look at the tweet that Wesley Hunt put out, that the Republicans are literally coming for him. Wesley Hunt is the biggest black token of an ass kisser when it comes to, and now they don't need him anymore. Now they can get rid of him. Now they can say bye-bye, and they're running other Republicans against this brother right now. Byron Donalds is another one. Byron's not going to win Florida. They don't want Byron to win Florida. Vernon Jones. Vernon is another one. They are the Republican Party are about to do everything to get these black folks as far away from them as possible. Because you got, like I said, you have the young Republicans who outright says, we don't like black people, who outright says, we don't want to be around black people, who outright says, we have black fatigue. These young Republicans are saying the quiet part out loud. These young Republicans are saying what mom and dad would not say, what mom and dad paid other black people to say. These young Republicans are saying, we're not spending our money on these coons, we're not paying these tokens, and we don't need these rats. These young Republicans are saying that. Listen to, I don't listen to Nick Fuentes because I like Nick. I listen to Nick Fuentes because these young Republicans are listening to this dude. And you know what? I want to hear what Nick has to say. I want to hear what he's pushing into these young white Republicans. I want to know where the snakes are. It's like I said, if the older Republicans, no, hold on, watch this. If the older Republicans who use black people to carry their hateful water would have just came out the closet and started just saying, look, brother, I don't like you. I don't like you. If they would have just came out and start telling the truth, we would be so far along. The reason I like Nick is because Nick is saying point blank. Nick is telling the truth. Nick isn't hiding behind this computer. Nick is out there saying, no, you black, I don't like you. Cool. See, I can talk to you. The ones I can't talk to is like the ones here in Minnesota. There are racists in Minnesota like you wouldn't believe. But they got to do this Minnesota nice thing. They got to play in my face. They got to smile in my face, right? They throw the dog whistles out there. That's how they talk here in Minnesota. And I keep telling them, I won't call you racist. If you come up and we up front with each other, I know who you are. Cool. I know to stay away from you. You know to stay away from me. I know you don't like me, and there's no way I can like you thinking the way that you do. We cool. Same thing with Nick. I would, if Nick called me up and say, Rev, I need you to come and we're going to have chit chat on my show. I could never look Nick Fuentes in the face. But I respect Nick because Nick is not hiding behind his computer. Nick is not being like a lot of these white folks here in Minnesota. Nick is saying it straight out, no ifs, ands, or buts. So I sit here and say, good, let Nick Fuentes come into power. Let him do whatever the hell he wants to. But what he's doing is he's telling these coons that the old Republicans used, he's telling them they're no longer needed. Brandon Tatum, you're no longer needed. Rod Smith, you're no longer needed. Candace Owens, you're no longer needed. Jason Whitlock, you're no longer needed. C.J. Pearson, you're no longer needed. There's another black brother on here you guys love, Anton Daniels. Anton Daniels, go kick rocks. So Nick is telling them all, you're no longer needed. We're not paying you to bash black people anymore. Our forefathers did. Our mothers and fathers and uncles, they did. But we're not paying black people to bash black people no more. Period, point blank. Why? Because they're going to do it themselves. They're going to say the things themselves. So why would we need a black person to do that? That's old Republican. That's the old Republican who needed that. So, yeah, I have no problem. I know a lot of people was mad at me when I first came out and said, you know what, let Nick be Nick. I know a lot of people were saying that. Kick, gravel, and travel. There you go, kick, gravel, and travel. I know a lot of people was saying, upset at me. Got hit up in the DM. A few people put out, you can't be real about Nick. No, I'm dead real about Nick. I'm dead real. I like Nick. And if Nick is going to bring in a new Republican Party, and that's going to dump some of these here coons, tokens that the old Republican paid to talk about black people, if Nick promised me to keep them out of the party, if Nick promised me to go after them and tell them, see you bye, you're not needed anymore, then I'm behind Nick Fuentes 110%. If you're going to get rid of the tokens, you're going to get rid of the coons, you're going to stop paying these black people to talk about black people, Nick, I'm behind you 110. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. As long as you get rid of the Brandon Tatums, As long as you get rid of the Jason Whitlocks, as long as you get rid of the Anton Daniels, as long as you get rid of the Rod Smiths, I'm willing to dance with the devil for a little bit. That's what it comes. That's how deep I am when I go on here and I hear some. Oh, we got a new one. His name Andre Williams. We got a new coon out there. His name is Andre Williams. That low down dirty. Always talking about black women. Always putting down black women. So Nick Fuentes, if you're going to get rid of them, if you're going to kick them out of your party, if the new generation of Republican kids are going to say we're not paying black people no more to talk bad about black people, if that's what Nick is here for, if that's what Nick is going to do, I'm 110% behind Nick Fuentes. Period, point blank. Period, point blank. Because there is racism in America. There's always going to be racism in America. America was built on racism. No ifs, ands, buts about that. But hey, let's go. So we was talking about fraud earlier, right? And like I said before, until somebody show me something different, until somebody comes up with a name or a group of people that's not Somalian and say these people were part of the fraud that happened here in Minnesota, until that happens, which nobody has, but until that happens, I'm going to keep calling out the Somalian community for stealing all this money from the Minnesota taxpayers. But if you got somebody different that's done that, Ilhan Omar, if there's somebody different out there, if you can show me some other different group of people that is not the Somalian community, that is stealing all his money, stole all its money, that taking all his money overseas, and God knows what you done with it. That some of them is right here in Minnesota, driving around with BMWs and all this here, living in these fancy houses. If you can show me somebody other than the Somalian community that has done this, then I will change my tune. But until you show me that, it's the Somalians who have stole money from the people of Minnesota. They have ripped the people of Minnesota off. Now, if you want to go and talk about the higher-ups, if they want to start naming the names of the higher-ups, because we know the higher-ups don't look like us at all, we know that, then do that. But as long as every time I turn around, if number 79 defendant goes to jail, and that number 79 defendant has a Somali name, has a Somali likeness, has a Somali I'm going to repeat what I just said. The Somali community has stolen money from the taxpayers of Minnesota. Prove me wrong. That's all you have to do is prove me wrong, and I won't say it again. But as long as you can't prove me wrong, I will keep saying it, I will keep repeating it, and I will make sure everybody else knows it. Period, point blank. Get mad at me if you want. Call me whatever you want to call me. I've been called every name in the book. There's nothing that you can call me that's going to make me feel bad. Nothing. 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 But I don't want you all to get this big thing in your head, because I know Lisa DeMoss put this out today. Lisa is trying to act like, because she's running for governor, Lisa's trying to act like the Republicans are doing something, like the Republicans gave a damn. She's a damn liar. She's lying. She's lied her ass off. That's a lie. If y'all believe these Republicans, when it comes to this fraud, when it comes to coming out with fraud, talking about fraud, they lying. Listen to me. They lying. They lie. They telling you a lie. They're lying. These Republicans sat back. You know how long this stuff has been going on? These Republicans sat back and did nothing. Lisa didn't do nothing. Walter Hudson didn't do nothing. None of them. None of them. Matter of fact, and I'll get him on this here show, and he will tell you. Matter of fact, like I told y'all, I've got two friends who sat in front of Republicans and mapped out, had PowerPoint presentation to the Republican Party, had a PowerPoint presentation showing the Republican Party the fraud. And you know what the Republican Party did? Nothing. Nothing. So when I saw Lisa put out there, like, they all of a sudden, hold on. So they put together, listen to me. So you put together a committee that has no power, no subpoena power. And you're supposed to be happy with that? And we're supposed to be happy with that. You put together a committee, and that's what the Republicans did, so they can pat themselves on the back and go, look at us. Roger Chamberlain, Senator Roger Chamberlain, was all over this. And the Democrats are like, oh my God, we better stop this man, or he's going to blow the lid off of this thing. They ran all of this money against Senator Roger Chamberlain in his district. They did. And the Republicans lost the seat of Roger Chamberlain. Look it up, people. I'm not telling you anything. There's nothing I say that you can't look up for yourself. Roger Chamberlain was ousted by the Democrats, and they got him out of that seat. And you know what Republicans did for Roger? Nothing. The only man that was going after this fraud, and the reason I know this here is because I spoke to Roger on several occasions. If you ever see him, ask him if we talked all the time. Ask him. He'll tell you. We talked all the time about this fraud. I knew about, when Roger was going after them talking about, I knew about this fraud long before it got to this point, because Roger Chamberlain was on it. And then when the Democrats saw Roger Chamberlain doing what he was doing, and he wasn't going to let up, the only thing they could do to try to stop him from getting deeper than where he was to run somebody against him and throw as much money behind them, and that's what they did. That's what they did. Lisa ain't did nothing. Lisa ain't did nothing. They can go on here and lie to you guys. They can go on here, Republicans can go on here and lie to you guys all they want. They can lie to you because they know, number one, you're not going to do any research. You know you're not. Stop it. You're not going to do any research. You're not going to get behind it and try to figure it out. You're not going to look and try to find out if what she's saying is true or not. They know that. They know you're not going to. They know that you're going to believe exactly what they tell you. But Lisa and the Republicans ain't do shit. That's just a flat lie. And they can lie to you because you'll believe it, because you're Republicans. They can tell you whatever, and you'll believe it because you're Republicans. But what I'm telling you is they ain't done a damn thing. They got the little committee that Kristen Robinson run, you know, that's doing nothing. That's not making a difference. That's not making a change. They don't have power, no committee power to call these people in there and make them tell the truth right there sitting in that chair. Make them give names where they get the money from. How much money did you spend? They don't have power like that. So this is just for show. This is just for show. This is just so they can run back and go, look at what we did. But what did you do, though? That's my thing. What did you do? You ain't do nothing. You're wasting taxpayers' money right now. Because if you ain't got power to pull somebody in there and make them tell the truth, what did you actually do? You ain't done a damn thing. You ain't done nothing. And let me tell you another secret. Inside Hennepin County, nobody cares about. That's what blows my mind. This is what blows my mind. Inside, I was at 2 churches this Sunday. Inside Hennepin County, nobody cares about fraud. Nobody cares about all the money. They don't. Honestly, they don't. They don't. Now, you go outside of Hennepin, they losing their mind about the fraud. They losing their mind about all this here. But then I look at the rural people, the very people who swears up and down that, well, I live all the way out here. Why should I care about Minneapolis? Why should I care about what happens over there in Minneapolis? Why should I care about what happens in the city? Well, now you see why. Now you understand why you should care about what happens in the city. Why you should care about what happens in Minneapolis. Now you understand. You finally seeing why. Because those are your tax money. Those are your tax dollars. The farmers are hurting right now. That money, $1 billion basically walked out of Minnesota. You know what $1 billion could do for the farmers that we have right here in this state right now that is hurting? We don't think about that type of stuff. There's a lot could be done for our farmers. But because you got a Democratic Party that's getting all these kickbacks from these programs, yeah, they are. Come on, stop it. And then you got a Republican Party that's so weak, there's nothing that they could do about it, but wait until stuff happens and then try to get in front of the story and try to act like it was them. And it wasn't them. They had nothing to do with this. They had nothing to do with the fraud. They had nothing to do with who caught the people from the fraud. They had nothing to do with bringing people to court. They had nothing. Listen to me. If Republicans, and don't let Dusty Grange get on here and try to act like Dusty's a liar too. If Dusty says one thing, I will call him out. No ifs, ands, or buts. A.K. Kamara, I don't want to hear nothing from A.K. either. I don't want to hear nothing from a Republican talking about they had anything to do with getting a hold of the fraud in Minnesota. They are liars. They're doing exactly what they're doing right now. I wouldn't even worry about the fraud if I was. What I would worry about if I was the Republicans is, again, how you gonna sell a black woman to the black community. That is something I can't wait to see how they gonna try to march Lisa into Hennepin County. I want to see this here so bad. How they gonna do that? How they gonna do that? But no, people, don't let the Republicans fool you. Don't let them try to sit there and act like that they got something to do with what's going on with this fraud, whether it's stealing it or calling it out. No. And they're going to try to run on that too. They're going to try to run on, oh, look at all this fraud that's going on. Look at what we did. What did you do? I know. The next time you hear a Republican go, look at all this fraud, and we've been doing this, and ask them. No, seriously, ask them, what did they do? No, seriously, go, what did you do? Just asking a quick question. What did you do about this fraud? Ask them. And don't let them off the hook, man. Don't let them off the hook. Ask them, what did they do? What did they do? And hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. Because I am. The minute I start seeing that stuff, I'm going to ask, well, what did you do? Nothing. We didn't do nothing, but we got to take credit for something, Rev. No, you don't. Take credit for what you did. You sat there and you let the Democrats take all our money, surplus. You sat there and you let this here fraud from the Somali community go on for years, and you did nothing. That's what you did, Republicans, because you don't have any power. And we understand that. But be upfront with us. It's just like the thing I said about the people with Nick Fuentes. Just be upfront. Stop lying to people. I think in 2026, here's what we're going to do. I think in 2026, I think everybody should be themselves. Just stop lying. Don't lie no more. Don't tell us fibs. Don't tell us whatever. Just stop lying. Just stop it. I know that's going to be hard for a politician. And I know it's going to be hard for some of us to grasp the point that they're actually telling the truth. They're really, wait a minute, they're actually telling the truth. Well, Republicans, what did you do about the fraud? We didn't do anything. We sat and we watched. But what we did do is, we decided the best thing to do is put together a little committee, and then we'll just ask. What we'll do is we'll ask questions, and we may not. We know we're not going to get any questions answered, or we're not going to get the truth to a lot of those questions, but at least that'll look like we're actually doing something. That's what we want to hear from the Republicans, just like the Democrats. Stop lying. We know. We knew about the fraud. We got kickbacks. Dude, we got kickbacks like you wouldn't believe. We set up different programs here and there. We set up these nonprofits, and what we would do, we would send them all out. We would write checks to them. They go and they cash these checks, and they divvy up the money between each and every one of us, every one of them. But then they have to realize that, kickbacks, they got to give us a kickback, so we need money to give to Ken Martin at the time, to give to Ken Martin, so Ken Martin can dole that money out to all of the people who are running so we can beat the Republicans. So those kickbacks were very, very much important. Those kickbacks that we was getting. That's all you had to do is tell the truth. And you know what? We would be like, okay, cool. Y'all want to get kickbacks on one side, and the other side want to know about the kickbacks, but yet don't want to say anything because they're afraid that the Democrats will take that kickback money and run against you, and then you'll be out of the office. Just saying. Same thing with Chief O'Hara. So Chief was like, and here's the thing that gets me. Here's the thing that's getting me. So here's a police chief of Minneapolis, right? Oh, my sister. I'll call her. So here's the police chief of Minneapolis, correct? Who sees the people that they pick up. Here's the police chief of Minneapolis who sees the problem childs. Here's the police of Minneapolis who sees the criminals and the things that happens. For once, he gets in front of a mic and tells the truth. These kids are Somalians and West Africans. A lot of these kids are from Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center, and they got parents. Both of them work. They got money. These kids are riding around in these good cars, but they feel they want to be gangsters. And he tells the truth. And instead of him standing 10 toes down on the truth that he told, this coward decides to put his head between his legs and come out and say, I apologize if I said something that offended somebody. You didn't say nothing that offended anybody. What you did, Chief, was you finally told the truth. And instead of you being a man who put his hand on a Bible if you swore in as a captain and talked about protecting everybody, you coward, you kowtown to the lowest kind denominator of the community. Yes, you did. And you stood there and you lied to the American people. You lied to Minneapolis. You lied to Minnesota. When you said pretty much, I take back the truth that I told you from day one. The truth that I told you. That was the truth, man. And you know it. And you know how I know it was the truth? Because when I'm down there at 11, 12, and 1 o'clock, the accents that those kids have are not an American like accent that I have. And you know that. And you know that, Chief, you know it. You know that. And you told the truth. And then they got you in a corner and they say, you can't tell the truth because when you tell the truth, people get mad at us because we're not taking care of our kids. Let me show you something. And what a lot of people don't know, but I'm gonna tell you. You remember last summer when there was a girl riding around, a couple girls riding around on a car, and they was twerking on top of that car? Remember that? In downtown Minneapolis, right? They were Somali girls. But everybody thought they were black, and nobody said a word. And everybody left it like that. And they was putting out, oh, look at them black people. Black people do this here, and black people do that there. What y'all don't understand, a lot of black kids are not doing a lot. We have literally pulled back because we basically telling our kids, Donald Trump is in office, and if you screw up, exactly what I told my boys. Donald Trump is in office, and if you screw up, you better believe he's going to come down on you 50 times harder than he'll come down on anybody else. So I told my boys, I need y'all to chill out. Whatever you're doing, I need you to stop doing it. Period. Go to work, go home. Cops stop you, don't sit there and argue with the cop. Don't sit there and act like anything. You give the cop whatever he wants, and then you get yourself home. If we have to go deal with the cops, we'll do that. He tell you get out of the car, even though you think it's not right, get out of the car. Tell you to spread it, spread it. Got anything on you? Got nothing on me, cop. But do not give for the next 3 years, like I told them, do not give the police officers a reason for nothing. And that's what I preach in the church. And that's what the church have been telling their kids. Black folks have been saying it to these kids. Stop it, whatever you're doing. That's why when the chief was able to sit there and tell you the truth and say, yeah, these West African kids, these Somali kids. He didn't say black kids because most of these black kids are in the house. That's why he was able to name. That's why he was able to name the kids that are out here acting up. Ain't our kids. And I'm glad he said what he said. I'm glad he said I'm glad he put it the way he put it. I'm glad he didn't just sit there and say kids, because the minute he said kids, what's the first thing people think? Oh, them black kids out there doing that. Black kids ain't doing nothing right now. No, they better have their ass in the house. You let all these other kids run around here. You let them run around here and act a fool. We ain't got time for that. And so they pulled the police chief in front of a mic, and the police chief decided to be a coward. Flat out coward. He told the truth, people. If you saw it, if you saw him and you saw it, believe me when I say that. He told the truth. The first time. The second time he came back, he lied. Anyway, fam, I am done for the night. I appreciate you. I did not book myself as much as I did this week. I have a very, 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 well, except, Thanksgiving. I will be from 2 to 4. I will be at the governor's mansion. Yeah, I know that's Turkey Day. I know that. I know that's Turkey Day. But I will be down at the governor's mansion. We will be protesting men in women's in the Shakopee Women Prison. We'll be protesting on Thanksgiving. So if you're not doing anything, come on down. If you believe men should not be in women's prison or women's spaces at all, period, point blank. That's what we're protesting. So we'll be out in front of the governor's mansion on Thanksgiving Day from 2 to 4, protesting to keep men out of women's spaces. So if you're not doing anything, come on down and say hi. Come on down and hang out with us. Come on down and shout for 10, 15 minutes and then take off. But we will be down there protesting in front of the governor's mansion on Thanksgiving. All right? But that's about all I got on my docket for this week. But anyway, hey, fam, y'all have a good night. We will talk to you guys soon. Peace. Be good to each other. And I've got to get out of here. And always remember, smile at somebody so somebody smile back at you. Y'all have a good night. I'm out. Bye now.